Good morning, everyone. Brian here again with BMK Retro Gaming. This morning I have for us the review of the ColecoVision prototype game, Pac-Man. Now, this is actually an old prototype. It's not the homebrew from, I forget if it's Team Pixel Boy or ColecoVision Games. It's one of them, I think. Pac-Man collection. That's a different thing. This is actually an old prototype from back in the day, back in the original library days, pretty much. And well, you've got to excuse me in terms of I don't have a physical copy myself. It's I always use the image, look for one, and for the announcement post to make things look more presentable. It's a presentation thing. And they're not always that hard to find. So that's basically a mock-up of, I think, what would have been like if it had been released back then. We'll go more into how to get a look into it yourselves later on, but for now, suffice it to say that it was under development sometime in 1983 for release in 84, it looks like. Being developed and was going to be published by Atari Soft, which was Atari's label for doing ports of their games or games they had under license for other home video game consoles, home computers, etc. And, well, it's a more or less complete game, though it went unreleased. Very complete, as a matter of fact, as we'll see. And reasons for it not being released, well, we'll go into that in a bit, after a bit too, but I've got my suspicions, though. Unfortunately, this one was a bit tough to research. I could only find so much about it, which unfortunately with these prototype games sometimes tends to be the case, depending on what console, home computer, whatever they were going to be a prototype game for, you know. Some of them, there's a lot more information out there. Some, there's not so much. Anyway, I don't want to get way too far off into talking about it. I've got, again, I've got a digital download of the of an emulated game ROM for my ColecoVision Phoenix and the collection someone else had helped me put together, which is how we're going to play it. So I'm going to get set up with my ColecoVision Phoenix, and we're going to take a look into the gameplay real quick. Okay, so here we go with the Pac-Man prototype for the ColecoVision from Atari Soft. Okay, press and then press 1. I'm going to go prototype. Here we are. Doesn't take long to load. Not really. See, I love how that screen comes in there and just fills in. 83, here we go. One player game, easy. Press 1. Got a pretty good pattern here. One of the first things we can see about it is that, unlike some of the other ports or versions of Pac-Man, such as the Atari VCS 2600 original library port that was released back in the day, this actually looks and is, it's very good looking, and although ooh, I don't want to do that. Reset. Get back to it. Doesn't take very long. The Atari logo being seen on the ColecoVision must have really been something, you know. Kind of like when they did it for their ports for the Intellivision. Okay, here we go again. This actually looks, sounds, and plays a lot more like what we would think of Pac-Man as being like, in most regards, so, It's actually a much better version of Pac-Man than, say, the Atari VCS 2600 port would have been. Oh, come on. I'm not going to do that again. It's also very tough. Well, not super tough, but... one could be forgiving for thinking of it for being a fairly tough port of the game. Or a very tough prototype of a port of the game. It would have been really good arcade port. I mean, unlike the Atari VCS 2600 original library port we got, this one actually looks and plays and even sounds a lot more like what we would think of as Pac-Man as being like, so... Oh, come the heck... Sheesh. Okay, I'm going to do this one more time. I know. I haven't played it in a bit, but I'm a little bit rusty, but I know basically how to get through these mazes. It's not that complicated, the first part. Here we go. This is the way I usually do it. Ignore them, despite the fact that they could be worth some good points. Here we go. That's the way I've been doing it. That works for me pretty good. Got to a bit of a rough start at first, but that's okay. The cherries for the extra 100 points. No, not again. Do not want this video to run forever, but I know how to do this right. Just gotta get it back into my head the right way. Anyway, yeah, it looks and sounds a lot more like the Pac-Man arcade cabinet original that we all would have known, some, and loved, and it's definitely a good version of the game, for a prototype game anyway. The ColecoVision controller in a way does make it just a little bit tricky in some ways to keep up with, but not nearly all that bad. Cherries. While I still can. One of the things too you want to remember with this one is try your best to go ahead and use your tunnels some, because they can get tricky. Okay, here's Maze 2. It kind of starts you out with a full 5 lives on this easy mode, so makes it pretty simple to work through, but at the same time you want to be careful to have a little bit of a pattern set up for yourself like I've done here. And be careful to not screw it up too much. We'll get the strawberry. Yes, strawberry. Yes. Oh boy. Oh, y'all are screwed. I'm invincible. There we go, there's 2. And then here's, it has the cutscenes. Of course, one thing you'll notice real quick is once you get to Maze 3, it is really sped up. It gets very fast, and it is not kidding about that. Again, it's a lot more points to get the maze monsters. Yeah, not ghosts, though some think of them that way, including me mistakenly sometimes. But they're actually monsters. Well, I guess you could also say it varies depending on which manual or which version of that you're reading through. But otherwise, they are more or less supposed to be. Oh, that's sound means I just earned an extra Pac-Man. That's not going to get done quite like that. Uh-oh. Okay. Well, I asked for it. Here's maze 3 done. On to number 4. Actually, I only get about 5 out of this one on average. I'm not sure how many it has, even though it's supposed to be a complete prototype. They just went unreleased, but as it goes, from what I can tell, it appears as though with this one, one of the things is that one of the things that comes up with it, as far as I can tell, is that it seems to be oh, there we go again. Another one lost. Although a pretty good prototype, I'm not sure how many it actually goes to for being a prototype, though. As far as I'm able to tell, it looks like I mostly managed to get to number 5 on it. Come on, you go. There we go. Ooh, nice, 700 point bonus. I only have managed so far to get through or to about number maze 5. That's mostly just because I keep running out of Pac-Man before I can get any further, but go figure on that one. Oh, I should have seen that coming. Oh well, live and learn, Pac Buddy. Well, I may not live for much longer like this. I'm on 5, apparently. I didn't even see that at first. Now we're going to 6, and this is the second cutscene, which I hardly ever get to. Let's see, about 3 lives left, or 2, something like that. Oh well. Hey, for going off to a pretty rough start on, at least I managed to get somewhere with it. Ooh, another 700. Come on, boy. Not sure how many of them actually... I don't know. Are they supposed to be boys, girls, or what? I don't know. I think 1 or 2 of them is supposed to be female, but I forget. Ooh, yeah. Oh well. Darn it. And there's my game over. Anyway, I think you guys get the idea of the gameplay by now. And it takes you right back to your beginning screen after that. Okay, so that was Pac-Man, a 1983 prototype for the ColecoVision from Atari Soft. Is it pretty good? Oh yeah, especially compared to the, like I was saying, Atari VCS 2600 original library. Pac-Man arcade port that we got. Atari Soft actually they learned from that and did a much better job with all the other Pac-Mans pretty much. Sure, it's still not entirely perfect. The maze is kind of more wide and long than it is in the arcade cabinet original, but still it looks and sounds and plays a lot more like the arcade cabinet original would have. It would have been very satisfactory back then. Sure, after Maze 2 it gets to playing super fast. In fact, it almost puts Miss Pac-Man to shame with that, but otherwise it's a very good version, especially for an unreleased prototype. As for where you might be able to look into getting this one, well, I don't know, being an unreleased prototype for sure. I didn't get a chance to look, but there may well be some people making reproduction cartridges of this one out there where you could get a physical copy that way. It might be worth browser search to take a look into. And, well, like me, getting the digital game ROM download, a digital download of the game ROM, I had somebody else put together this little collection for me, or help me do so, so I don't know where they got it, but I imagine this would be a pretty common one, so I imagine if you were to search that and see where all it comes up, I imagine it probably is available as a digital download of the game ROM in quite a few places still, so feel free to look into that if you like. I'm sorry that I just didn't look into it myself since I have it, but didn't really get it together myself. Don't have a PC and all, don't have everything I need to do that here. So I have to get help with putting these things together. But anyway, it is out there, and should be, y'all. Anybody who's really determined to look into it should probably be able to do so and find it, I would imagine. I do have a few recommendations and links for you guys. There is Vizd Gameplay Videos has one. Pets' Gym 1 has 2. And with my friend and colleague Willie with his channel Arcade USA has one from about a year ago. And really, that's almost kind of funny to me because you can see I've got my Arcade USA t-shirt on. I do love to watch Willie and watch Arcade USA. And I was just thinking, great minds must think alike, because here I am a year later without even knowing he had a video on it. It comes up as one of those I've got for recommendation and link after I thought to do this one just looking through what prototypes I had here that I could present. I, in a way, hate having to do them because I'd much rather have a physical copy of a game to do with, especially when we're, say, a homebrew or a original library game. But game prototypes, a lot of times, this is what you got, is the digital download of a game ROM file, so just had to improvise until I get some more to work with coming in. Anyway, there's all three of those. A big shout out to my ColecoVision World and ColecoVision, or Coleco and Atom Fanatics, or ColecoVision Atom Fanatics Facebook groups. Love you guys over there, and hopefully y'all should get this before too terribly long this morning. The weather here has been a bit rainy, so it might take a bit longer than I would like, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, beyond that, keep your eyes peeled for the announcement post that should go up for my channel's Intellivision Original Library review, which is going to be up on this next Wednesday. This coming Wednesday, I mean. This Wednesday. It is Sunday. I really haven't picked out which one it's going to be with that one yet. I'm kind of exploring a couple options, so I should have it up later after I finally decide, so just keep your eyes peeled. I do post it both to here on YouTube as well as to my Facebook and Twitter, so keep your eyes peeled for that, and you'll find out what's coming up with that. In the meantime, if you enjoy my channel's content, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe, and please don't hesitate to leave any questions, comments, or suggestions down in the comment section below. You guys take care, have a wonderful Sunday, and hopefully I will see everyone back here again on Wednesday.